Let me talk about the second part that will get you to do things that you never thought possible and get you to push through your limits. And that is what I call pay price to action. And this is going to be covered in an entire chapter in my book that's coming out next year. And what is this concept, pay price to action? I first heard this phrase from Mr. Dan Pena, the $50 billion man. And he used it when it comes to when you pay a personal price, and this could be money or something else, in order to sacrifice that for something else. And I see this all the time in my courses, and you would have seen this if you paid money for college tuition, sometimes when you buy a product out there. But for me, it's my courses, and I ask people to pay thousands of dollars to come on my courses. And I do it for this reason alone. I don't do it because I need their money, because honestly, I don't. But I do it because when someone puts money on the line, that means that they've sacrificed that money. And once they've put the money down, they know that now you will go ahead and take action. And that's this concept of pay price to action. And it's really, really important because it means that people are willing to sacrifice a chunk of money, something that really means a lot to them, in order to get all of the education they're going to get on these programs. And unless you're willing to pay a price to action, a certain amount of money, I know that you're not going to be there when the going gets tough. And so my Broadcast Yourself course is a great example. For 8 weeks, I mentor you to build a world-class podcast. And at the very end of that, I teach you how to turn it into a business. And I'm willing to spend 8 weeks of my time to personally mentor you through live calls and accountability program. I've got team leaders. We all go through this. There's 8 modules. There's a roadmap. The reason I do it is because you have paid money that means something to you. So in week 3, when I ask you to go ahead and go live and put something on iTunes, when normally you would quit because of the social pressure, you think, man, I don't want to lose the money that I paid Brian, so I'm going to push through it. And I've taught this course for free in the past, and when I do, people quit in week 3, week 4, and week 5 because they don't have skin in the game. They don't have something at stake. And that's why I refuse to teach people now that haven't paid a price to action. And that can come in many ways. I like money because usually money is something that we're like, wow, I don't want to waste that money. I could have used it for this or that. When I went to college at MIT, I paid $14,000 as my pay price to action, and I showed up to class and I didn't want to waste it. Or my parents and my grandparents would have been like, Brian, what's going on? Sometimes an opportunity is a pay price to action. If you choose to go and do something, you've chosen not to do something else. So sometimes that is a pay price to action. You've got skin in the game. You've sacrificed something to actually be there. Whatever it is, make sure you pay a price to action. And a lot of times it can be a financial price, which really helps. I have friends of mine that say, Brian, make sure that I go to the gym for the next 30 days in a row. And if I don't, I'm going to cut a check for $1,000 to a charity that I hate. And I'm going to give you the money in the meantime. And if I don't do it, then you can go ahead and give it to the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or whatever. And that's another way that you can pay price to action. Again, put something on the line like money that makes you do something that normally you wouldn't do that would get you to quit. So again, pay price to action is a second way of getting to do something. A lot of times what I'll do is with a personal trainer, I'll go ahead and buy 5 sessions from them and spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And that means I know I'm going to show up to those training sessions no matter what. Same thing comes when I go to buy a class. I'll spend 1,000 pounds on a class. It means I'm going to show up and get it done. A lot of people do that with all sorts of aspects in their life because they know they're not going to walk away from the money. Sure, the social pressure might not make them do it, but the money is going to get them to do it. And so that's why my programs, I charge a couple $1,000s for my Business Accelerator, my Broadcast Yourself, my Speak to Inspire, and my Life Accelerator, which is coming up in January. Because I know you're going to get through the 8 weeks and transform as a person, all because of that little bit of money. And again, in a couple years' time, you'll forget about a couple $1,000s. Some people spend that going shopping, but it's what keeps you in the game and gets you to push past resistance. Now, what was Ross's pay price to action? Well, for him, he obviously spent money on the boats. He spent money on taking 6 months out of his life to do this. And so that was his pay price to action. He really had skin in the game to accomplish this piece and to make it happen. He had the social pressure as well. But there's a third part that I want to talk about right now, and this is how you can push through your limits. And this is what I call a higher purpose.
London Real doesn't stop when the conversation ends. You see, that's when we get started. Because everything begins with a thought, and then comes the action. The London Real Academy is our global transformation platform. Here we bring together thousands of students from over 75 countries. Whether you want to build a profitable business from your passion, or learn to speak to inspire, or broadcast yourself with your very own podcast, or accelerate your life to become a high-performance person, we have the online accountability course and personal mentoring program that will make your dream a reality. Join us, and we'll take your life to the next level, together. Our next accelerator course is starting soon.